Welcome to this episode of Expat Stories. I'm Sara, a financial consultant in Germany, and in Expat Stories, we interview with expats here and talk about their challenges, how they overcome the integration process, and basically everything. Today, we talk with Yuki, a woman in biotech. She shares her journey from laying off to changing her mindset and securing a global role in English in Germany. So stay tuned. Hi, Yuki. It's so nice to have you here today. It's always nice to speak with expats in Germany who are in different industries. And I know that you're in biotech, which is quite interesting. In these days, everyone talking about tech, but I know that biotech is something quite different, I can say. But before
Yes.
that, I would love to know a little bit about yourself, like who is Yuki outside of the job title?
Oh, that's interesting. First, thank you so much for your time and for offering to have this interview with me. I find it very fascinating. It would be good for to have a lot of people also know about this feed as well. But just to go straight to who I am, because I like to say my job is not my identity, in as much as I love it and I'm deeply passionate about what I do. So first and foremost, I'm Yuki Gold. I'm a Nigerian living and working in Germany. I have been in Germany for about 5 years. I actually first came to Germany to study for my postgraduate degree. And after my postgraduate degree, I've gone through different phases and challenges and getting a job, working in research institutes, getting laid off, and then now in biotech as well. So, and aside from all of this, I am a creator. I love to create content on social media. At the moment, I try to share most of my journey because I believe there are people out there who could also benefit just from the 30 seconds reel or 1 minute video I'm sharing on my social media. I believe there are people who would learn from this. On the other hand, I am also learning how to get into the business side in Germany, more like an entrepreneur by the side. I would say this is something I'm still growing and also learning from as well. And then a creator. So that is Yuki, and nice to meet you too.
Amazing. Thank you for your introduction. You mentioned about the layoff, and you know that in 2026, there are it's becoming a trend, unfortunately, I can say, and it's kind of very common. So you went through it yourself and you know like how it works, and you came back into the global role. Uh, and you speak English at the same time. How did you navigate the whole transition?
First of all, I would say my layoff was very difficult. It was very, I mean, nobody prepares for something like this. It was a very difficult time for me. Also knowing the fact that the company had a lot of financial meltdown and a lot of people had to be laid off, and eventually it was shut down. But it still did not make the whole process any easier at all. But this whole time, why this layoff happened, I decided to treat my unemployment time not like I decided to treat it like a project, I would say, in as much as I was pained, I was disappointed because it really affected my confidence, to be honest. But I was like, this would be a project for me. So I updated my CV. These were the things I did personally, which I think could work for other people. I updated my CV. I took my LinkedIn very serious. I felt like when I was unemployed, I worked more than when I was employed because the 8 hours to 10 hours a day were all focused on my applications. I wanted to be very intentional about the kind of applications I put out. I went for networking events, I went for industry events and conferences. There were places I went to with my CV printed out. I had like hard copies in a folder. I had soft copies just in case someone gets to ask about this. So it was a whole project for me. These were some of the things I did personally that actually helped me to navigate this period. And I would say the whole layoff thing was such a big change for me. It literally changed my mindset and my perspective, and it made me very intentional about my career here in Germany.
Amazing. And so which one was the most effective one among the things that you mentioned? Because you did a lot of things.
I did a lot. I would say I learned from each and every step because why this happened, I've gone through like a job search phase in Germany twice. Probably, hopefully there won't be more, but I know this happens a lot, so I'm prepared for when this happens. But this time around, it was a lot easier than the first time when I just graduated from the university because it was easier for me to get more interviews now, and I felt like these were the steps. Everything I did was very helpful. But the most effective one that eventually landed me my current role was LinkedIn. So I really maximize how I use LinkedIn. I wasn't using LinkedIn like just maybe for job applications or a platform where you go to share a post that, oh, I got a new job or I got laid off. I was very active. I connected with companies. I looked out for HRs who work at these companies, and I wrote to them. And then I was able to follow like job applications for every day. Like I was doing the search to make sure when I'm applying to a job, it has to be something that was released in the last 7 days. So the job I eventually got, I had gotten through LinkedIn. But the other processes, I would say, prepared me for it because the other things I did, the networking events I went to, I got interviews, most of them, of course, I got to the final stage. And there were a lot of them where I was not taken because of my poor German skills. But at this point, I'd gotten to this last stage. I knew, okay, I knew what to expect. I knew how the whole interview process it goes on. That it got to a point you could literally wake me up and say, you have an interview today, and I will tell you I'm ready for it. So I've done so many interviews. And I think this was also a very good opportunity because there are a lot of people I see who are applying to jobs and they'll tell you they've never gotten an interview in like a month, in 3 months. So I would say while I did so many things, they were not all the most effective, but they were very helpful. But LinkedIn was the best. So I'm looking forward to working with LinkedIn someday.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that a lot of people underestimate to like build their network through LinkedIn and like take it more seriously. But that was quite an interesting thing that you mentioned. But aside from that, like what's your best advice for expats who are trying to land like an English speaking role today?
Yeah, first I would say do not underestimate the number of English speaking companies in Germany. There's quite a lot of them. However, German is also very important. Like I'm sharing all of this from my personal experience right now. It could be different from for someone out there because there were interviews I went for where at least the first half of it, I had to speak German. Not perfect German, but I had to prove that I have some level of understanding of the German language, even though the company is an English speaking company, but the colleagues you're going to work with, some of the things you have to do internally also have to be done in German. So, first, I would say there are a lot of English speaking companies in Germany. Do not underestimate that. You could literally streamline your search and be able to get English speaking companies that you could apply to, but still have a good command of the language, I would say. It really changes a lot of things because I felt if my German was a lot better than it is now, the whole job process would have been a lot easier and faster.
Yeah, exactly. And the first time I spoke with you, you mentioned that you like to go to a specific company and then you reached the final stage, and because of the language, you couldn't get that. And I think that
Yes.
that's very important for expats to know, even if they can find a job in English, but it's better to like better their German skills at least to speak better, because for expats it's not just about like being in like B1 or B2 level. Speaking is like whole different story, and that's something that can like help a lot so they can land a job quicker in English or in German.
Yes, yes, very important.
Amazing. I would love to know because when I spoke with you the first time, you mentioned that a lot of people ask you like if the biotech is the same as the tech industry. How is it different? If you want to like tell a little bit about it, and also what do you think is the future of biotech?
Oh, I think biotech is a very innovative industry right now that is growing massively. And in as much as tech is very important and has literally taken over, because when you tell people now, oh, if you tell people you have a job, they automatically assume it's tech. Everyone assumes, oh, you have to work in tech. That's the only place you can grow a career. But biotech is also another very brilliant industry that is growing massively. There's a lot of innovation happening. And of course, having a science background in this situation would be very helpful. Like I have a postgraduate degree, I have an MSc in food quality and safety in food sciences. And not just that, there are also other degrees that are important in this field. You could be a microbiologist, you could be a biochemist, and literally, this is what the biotech industry wants. So, there's quite a huge difference between the tech company and the biotech company. And the biotech company, they are also is also an industry in Germany that is very open to taking English speakers. So that is another advantage that people do not realize at the end of the day. So I would definitely encourage a lot of people that when you think about a career right now, we know AI is taking over. Even the biotech companies, we all use AI at the moment. It depends on your field. I work in quality management, not necessarily in research and development or in the lab as a scientist. I'm in quality management, but AI is also it's also a very valuable tool in biotech. So even if you have the AI skills, you have your science skills, this is a place where both of them can come together and you can leverage both knowledge to your own advantage and also be able to easily learn something in this field.
Amazing. I think that's really interesting for people, specifically in like um biochemistry or like these fields. They think that maybe they can only land a specific like old fashioned jobs, but now everything is changing, and I think like even more interesting job is coming now.
Yes.
Amazing. So, Yuki, as someone who went through the whole, like the process of laying off and finding the new job, I'm sure that you know a lot about like the stress of like the importance of not living paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, yes.
So, for a woman, as a woman, if you want to tell like the other people how important is the financial literacy to like manage their finances, so when something happened, they don't go through like a huge financial problem, what would it be from your eyes?
I mean, this is very interesting because I think one of the main things that helped me during the whole layoff phase and my job application, why I wasn't so desperate to pick on any kind of job that came my way, and why I had the patience to really put in my time to get something I felt was what my time or my degree and experiences was because of finances, which is very important. So first of all, I would say financial literacy is very important for every woman because it gives you choices. It's not just about the money, it's about the peace of mind that it gives you. So when I had a job, or I mean, this is something I believe everyone should do. You have a job, you're first to go. Fine, if you have debts, please take care of that. Luckily, I didn't have to worry about this, but your first goal should be to save up money. You should have an emergency fund. You should be able to budget. Budgeting is very important. I've spoken so much about budgeting on my social media that some people think, yeah, you only budget when you are a broke person, or but no, it just gives you independence. So having an emergency fund that you know would keep you going for at least 3 to 5, 6 months without a job is very important. This was very helpful for me. So money wasn't such a big concern for me during this time. And luckily, working in Germany as well, I also had the how do I put it now? Sorry. I also had the opportunity to access the Arbeitslosengeld, which is also a good one in Germany because when you're working, part of from the taxes and all the deductions that happens to your monthly paycheck, a percentage of it goes into this account. So when you have no job, it's either the company you are being laid off from has a contract or um has some contract where they are able to pay you for at least 3 months or 3 to 6 months, and then the Agentur for Arbeit takes this over, and then you can also access the Arbeitslosengeld. So in my case, I had this. I had emergency fund. saved up. So I can tell you that it wasn't just about budgeting every tiny amount or everything I do monthly, or making sure I know where every single euro in my account goes to. It was the peace of mind it gave me, and I was able to take the time to focus on my job applications and not be bothered about where my next rent money is coming from, because I already had it sorted for at least a couple of months confidently. So financial literacy gives you independence and is very important.
Yeah, exactly. Because when something like this happened, a lot of people freak out and they think, okay, either they blame Germany or they blame like the company or something that they don't like blame themselves in order to like not taking the responsibility
Yes.
for the future when they could actually do that before. So, as a woman, what's like your biggest advice for other women and why they should protect their financial future before something unexpected like a layoff happens.
I mean, we know how the world is today for a woman. So I would say the best thing you can do for yourself as a woman is having your own is being financially independent. This is very, very important. Being financially independent will give you choices. Then you can live even unhealthy situations. You can bounce back when you have a problem. You can take care of yourself. You can make right decisions from a settled place with a peace of mind. So my biggest advice to be, please, in all you do, make sure you are very conscious about your finances. Learn how to save, learn how to budget. Well, if you have a job, if you have a 9 to 5, or if you're an entrepreneur, if you're learning how to run a business here in Germany, learn everything that has to do with taxes, learn everything that has to do with insurance, with retirement. Join a group. Like, that's why I'm also looking forward to learning from your group and the Feminine Club, because I know there's so much talk going on about retirement plan. I want to be retired as early as I can sometime in life. I might love my 9 to 5. I might love everything I do now. I do not want to do it long term, to be honest. So this is very important. That's my biggest advice. Learn everything about finances. Especially here in Germany, a lot of us have no idea how the tax system works. So we can't even use all of this to our own advantage. So if you can learn this, if you can leverage on this, if you can find a group of people who are very intelligent or who are well informed about this field, it would be really good for you to learn from them. So this is my biggest advice.
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, when a lot of people are looking only for earning more rather than to like be more smart and how they can save more, not overpaying for, as you mentioned, like some insurances and how they can optimize their taxes
Yes.
in a way so they're constantly looking for working more, working from 9 to 5, then 5 to 9, and just in order to earn more money, but at the end they could like do it easily just by optimizing it. So that's something that a lot of people underestimate. But
Yes.
earlier you mentioned that your mindset was like the biggest thing that changed everything. I would love to know a bit more about that.
Honestly, the job layoff really, I wouldn't say it messed up with my mindset. It just changed it completely. Because I feel right now I'm in a stage where I feel like, fine, I love what I do, but anything could happen today. I could walk into the office and it probably, instead of getting a promotion letter, I get a letter that tells me to walk away, to go, and that would be fine. I would easily walk away. But what it did to my mindset was also learning to build something of my own. And that's why I am very interested in learning how to run a business on the side in Germany. Thankfully, working in Germany also allows it. I mean, there's a lot of bureaucracy that goes on there. It's quite difficult, but the fact that I even have an opportunity to do this, so I also want to learn something of my own. Like, if the job goes away today, I know I have something to fall back on. I know I can leverage on social media, which I'm trying to do at the moment as well, on the different platforms. I'm doing TikTok. I'm also signed up there as an affiliate marketer, where I actually review products I use on the day to day, products I like, products that improve my life, and then I also share it with my community. So this is also like a business. It's registered. It's actually a registered business for me. my social media is registered, and all of this I'm trying to do together, because for me right now, I just know, love what you do, give it your best always, never be found wanting. I give 150% at the place I work. Luckily, I love what I do, so when I get feedback from my director or members of the senior leadership team, is a good thing. I'm happy about it, but I know it's also a job. It's not eternal. So the person who gives you the most awesome feedback today could be the person giving you some bad news tomorrow and telling you, I'm sorry, you are so good, but we have to let you go. So I am mentally prepared for this, because the first layoff told me, yeah, it could happen anytime, but also learn how to do something of your own, learn how to collaborate with people, learn how to network better. So this is something I'm really working on, because your network, like everyone says, is also your very big asset. So learn how to know the right people to talk to when something happens. So networking, it has affected me in that aspect positively. Learning to build something of my own, have a business, leverage social media, all of this at this time. Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's exactly the mindset that an expat should have, and that's really like encouraging for people, because I also see that's like the entry barrier for the entrepreneurs are like very high because of the
Oh,
bureaucracy.
yes.
But like when you enter to it, that's like easier, because not a lot of people, better not to say dare to do that, but maybe not willing to do that, because the culture of entrepreneurship in Germany is not that competitive, we can say, at least. And that's something that when you start doing it and you start like chasing, like going after like the each bureaucracy, knowing that after that everything would be fine,
Yeah.
and you have like a very competitive advantage at that time, that would be really useful for people to know. So the bureaucracy is trying to kill you, but at the end it didn't kill nobody.
So at the end, it's worth it, you would say. I mean, if you can skate through the first part of it, there is some good at the end of the tunnel, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yuki, that was so nice talking with you. I'm sure that a lot of people used like all of your experience, because it's like very common between people, and a lot of expat doesn't have the community or doesn't have like the network that they are looking for, they should have in order to reach their goals. Because when we
Yes.
migrate to Germany, we actually aim for like better opportunities, better life, like better earning and everything. But a lot of people, when they land here, they're just starting a 9 to 5, like a something that's other than the thing that they imagined at first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because of all the constraints in place. I mean, there's a lot of challenges we have to go through as immigrants to actually survive. And then some people, I think the first instinct when they get here is survivor. So all their dreams and everything is put behind, and they just want to survive and make it. So I feel like we all need to go past that survival mode and get into the mood where we want to thrive. So we're not just here to survive. That's what I like to say. We are here to thrive. I mean, it's harder for us, but hopefully it happens.
Yeah, exactly. That was an amazing thing, because survival mode is something that a lot of people like get stuck into, and they can't get rid of it. It was really nice talking with you. I enjoyed a lot, and I'm looking forward to talk with you more in future.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to joining the group, the Feminine and Co or Feminine Club. I am looking forward to it.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.